the plate. Hear that crowd roar, the Angels minor league reports keeping score. 66 are swinging down in Inland Empire. Dust Devils heating up the region high. Rocket City Trash Pandas, they're coming through. Salt Lake Bees buzzing, making their move. Dominick Lorenz breaking down the play. Halos in the infield each and every day. Prospects climbing, chasing that dream. From the minors to the majors, part of the team. Fastballs flying, big hits receive. Catch it all on the Angels minor league report each week. Oh, each week.
Hey everybody, welcome on into the Halos in the Infield Minor League Report. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, or whenever you may be listening to this podcast episode. It's going to look just a tad bit different this week. I am on the road doing some broadcast things for my own personal work all the way out on the East Coast. So I still want to come to you guys and bring you what is going on through the farm system, through AAA, AA, High A, and Single A. But glad to have you along with this on episode number 5 of the Halos in the Infield Angels Minor League Report with yours truly, Dominick Lorenz from Catella Chronicles. And I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, 714 Tickets, Underdog Sportsbook, OC Dugout, and Brewheim. We're going to get to some of their sponsorship videos in the middle portion of our show, but all of minor league baseball is back. And I want to get into every single thing that went on over the weekend and this past week with what games were played. And we're going to start off right away with AAA Salt Lake. We talked about them at length in last week's show because they were the only minor league team that had games. AAA always takes advantage of the season beginning early at the major league level, so they get to their games a little bit before everybody else. After a tough little bit of a road swing for Salt Lake, they're going to be coming back home starting tonight for their home opener in their brand new ballpark in Salt Lake City, Utah. So congratulations to the Bees, their fan base, and enjoying a brand new ballpark in 2025. But this past week, they had a 6-game series on the road against the Colorado Rockies affiliate, the Albuquerque Isotopes, and the teams, as I said last week, it was going to be an offensive showdown, and boy, there were high offensive games in this series as both teams took 3 games apiece for a 6-game series split. Albuquerque and the Bees took game 1 by the final of 15-1. Then Albuquerque gave it right back with a 17-2 win. Salt Lake came right back with a 5-3 win on Thursday, and then Albuquerque got back-to-back wins on Friday and Saturday, and then finishing it off with the series split, the Bees with a 9-8 win on Sunday. Overall, good pitching performances, but again, it was the offense that was the main factor in all of this. In the first 2 games combined, it was 18-17 in favor of Albuquerque. But then you trickle in with the 5-3 game, 4-3, and then Salt Lake gave up 14 runs in the Saturday showcase game of that 6-game series. So, as mentioned before in this show, when looking at AAA numbers, you always have to put the league and the ballpark in consideration on a week-by-week stature, especially with the schedule being you playing in the same place, regardless if it's home or away, for 6 consecutive games. So in this case scenario, Albuquerque, Colorado Rockies affiliate from Albuquerque, New Mexico, when it's hot in the summer, the ball flies. When it's cool in April and May, the wind blows out that ball as well from home to the outfield. So offense was a key in both games. And just looking over the numbers this past week, I really like what I saw from the outfielder, Gustavo Campero. Campero this past week for the Bees batted .440 with 4 RBIs, 3 walks to his credit, and a stolen base. And he chipped in with 4 doubles. So a good week overall for Gustavo Campero, who came around. We saw him a lot during Angel spring training, play a reserved outfield position. We also saw him last year deep into the season when the Angels pretty much were decimated by injuries, but a good week for Gustavo Quintero. Also on the offensive thing, something that Angel fans and us Halos in the Infield fans are really going to love. We had a Zach Neto sighting. Zach Neto played the majority of the week for the Bees, and he did well for himself. Started out as the DH and got some reps back in at the dish. And overall at the plate, he did play 6 games. He played all 6 games in this series, so good for Zach Neto. He's inching his way back to the Angels lineup. I would assume, based on the performance I'm going to tell you about this week for Zach Neto, I would say he maybe has a shot at playing on this road trip for the Angels that takes him to Tampa, Houston, and Arlington, Texas. But I would say for sure when the Angels return home to take on the Giants next weekend, I think Zach Neto is back in the starting lineup for the Angels, and it's going to be definitely a sight to behold here for the Halo faithful. But Zach Neto this week batted .273, had a pair of home runs, 5 RBIs, 4 walks. He had some routine plays over at short, nothing too sparkly, nothing too spectacular, but that's okay for a rehab assignment. So I would say A-plus work from Zach Neto this week in the 6 games against Albuquerque on the road to kind of get back in the swing of things. I think he'll stay in Salt Lake this week to get more reps and play more innings, because at first as the DH, you're getting 2, maybe 3 plate appearances, and then when he did play shortstop, he was playing 5 to 6 innings a game. Again, just trying to get the legs under you once again, recovering from the offseason surgery that he had. But I like what I saw from Zach Neto, and I think definitely Angel fans should love what they see. And I think he'll be back within the next week to week and a half. Zach Neto will be our starting shortstop once again. Also, on the pitching side of things, yes, the pitching side of things, it didn't sound too great, but in talking about one player in particular, and we've seen him at the big club before, and he's kind of had a battle through injuries, and he didn't have that great of a start first time around on opening week against the El Paso Chihuahuas. It was Chase Silseth, the right-hander. He had 1 start this week in this 6-game series. He went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, only 1 of them earned on 1 hit, and you tally it up with 0 strikeouts. So he's not finding the strike zone and getting that final 3rd strikeout, but he's putting the ball in play and trusting his defense. So you're trying not to spot too many pitches overall in a single contest. It's all about getting the ground balls. And that's what Chase Silseth has kind of morphed into a little bit. He's not going to be a 10 to 12 strikeout guy like maybe a Jose Soriano is in the current Angels rotation. But he lowers his overall season ERA, picks up the win in a contest this week. So I would say good numbers all the way around. And then another Angels top prospect, Brett Carey. He goes 2 starts in this series, goes 8 2/3 innings, had 9 strikeouts in the mix as well, and a 1.15 whip. So 2 high-profile Angels arms in that starting rotation for Salt Lake. I like what I saw. They split the series. It was high offense once again, and that is going to be a trend, even in games where the Bees may win or may lose. At some point in a 6-game series during a week, I would say on average, you're going to see at least 2 lopsided scoring games. And you did in the first 2 games of this series, a 15-1 win for the Bees and a 17-2 loss for the Bees against Albuquerque, and then Albuquerque beat them 14-3. So the 3 wins for the Bees this week was the 15-1 on last Tuesday, 5-3 last Thursday, and they took the series finale 9-8 on Sunday. So good work overall, I would say most definitely for the Bees. They are now 4-5 overall to begin the 2025 season, and they are 2 games back of the Las Vegas Aviators, the affiliate of the Athletics, Oakland, Sacramento, whichever you want to call them. That's who's first place right now in the Pacific Coast League West Division. Let's drop it on down now to the East Coast, the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Everybody loves their logo. They have been such a bright spot in minor league baseball, not only because they have so much Angels talent. We saw them have Caden Dana, Nelson Rada, Christian Moore had a big impact with them last year. They won the championship a couple of years ago. So they knocked out their series over the weekend as we bring up their schedule here at home against the Chattanooga Lookout, which is the Cincinnati Reds AA affiliate. And unfortunately, out of the 3-game series, they were only able to play 2 due to inclement weather in Alabama, losing opening night 9-1, but then getting a walk-off 3-run home run for Denzer Guzman, who is a top 10 prospect in the Angels farm system. 8-6 victory in that contest. So, of course, we're going to talk about Denzer Guzman a little bit. Denzer with that 3-run home run in the 9th inning to walk it off. And that was a big catapulting celebration. It gets your first win of the year. It's the first walk-off of the year, the first fireworks show of the year. So if you're a fan of the Trash Pandas and you were in the house for that ball game, huge, huge opening weekend win right there. And who doesn't love a good walk-off home run? It's always great from Denzer Guzman. Pitching-wise, top 30 prospect Walbert Urena. He went 1 game. He went 3 innings, gave up 3 runs on 5 strikeouts. So not the cleanest of outings. His ERA is at 9 at this moment. But overall, he started that first game where the wheels kind of fell off just a little bit for Rocket City. It was more so their bullpen that really kind of structured well. And I'm going to give some love to Sammy Natera. Sammy Natera, 1 inning out of the bullpen, 1 outing, 2 innings out of the bullpen, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and only 1 hit yielded. So good work overall, I would say, from the bullpen of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. You also had number 1 prospect, Christian Moore. Didn't bat too well in 2 games, just batting 125. But again, weather and different elements going on right now in the South Atlantic League kind of changes things up a little bit. And it's never the easiest when you're playing on the East Coast in that specific weather. And I know a lot of teams in the Rocket City Trash Pandas League had some games jumbled up a little bit due to the weather. So everybody right now in the Southern League, North Division, which is Rocket City, Birmingham, which is the White Sox, Chattanooga, Cincinnati, and Knoxville, which is the Cubs, everybody split their series 1-1. Everybody is tied for first. Nobody could play game 3, so that will be made up at a later date that will be scheduled in the future. But good work overall from Rocket City. I would like where they are at right now, and they are going to stay at home. They are one of the lucky ones that get the home-and-home series. So after the supposed 3 against Chattanooga, they get a full week at home against the Knoxville Smokies, which is the Chicago Cubs affiliate. And top prospect for the Angels, Sam Aldigeri, is going to get the start in this game from Verona, Italy. The Italian-born southpaw will get the job done. 6-9 overall last year with a 3.59 ERA in 19 appearances, 95 in the 3rd innings pitched, and tossed very well 134 strikeouts. So something to look forward to this week if you are the Rocket City Trash Pandas, getting some high-profile pitchers going. You also have Hurtado going on Wednesday. And then, of course, continuing the series all week long, a 6-game stretch against the Knoxville Smokies, which is the Chicago Cubs affiliate. Getting exciting now as we're just about halfway through the minor league report this week here with Halos in the Infield. So glad to have you along with us on episode number 5. This is really the first week that we really get to dive into these matchups now that all 4 teams are in the mix, playing at full force. And this is where it gets exciting. And once we get through Tri-City and Inland Empire, I do want to give you guys a programming note. We're still going to be on every Tuesday, no matter how you listen. If you listen when the episode drops at 6 a.m. in the morning or in the afternoon at your lunch hour or at night, we want you to comment, like, subscribe, all of the things to YouTube, Instagram, X. No matter how you listen or watch us, please like, comment, and subscribe, and keep on coming back to the Halos in the Infield Network, especially with yours truly, Dominick Lorenz from Catella Chronicles. So great to have this beautiful partnership with Halos in the Infield. Todd, Fernando, the entire crew, tip of the cap to producer of the Stars, Randy, for all the cool, amazing graphics and videos and sponsorships that you see here throughout the show. But there will be a programming note for you after we finish up with Tri-City and Inland Empire, and it deals with the first show every month. And that's going to be the little teaser for you right there in regards to the Angels minor league report. But let's trot on over back to the West Coast. We dealt with the East Coast in Double A. Let's bring it all the way back to the Pacific Northwest, the Tri-City Dust Devils. Tri-City Dust Devils had a 3-game home opening series against the Vancouver Canadians, the Toronto Blue Jays affiliate, who just got a big boost to their organization by signing Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to a 14-year, $500 million contract. Boy, I would love that money. But let me know right now, what do you think of the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signing for the Blue Jays? Maybe a lot of Angel fans would have wished he'd followed in his dad's footsteps and came to the Angels, but he's going to be sticking north of the border for now. In that series, Tri-City gets the opening night win by the final of 5-4, but then they get trounced the final 2 games of the series, getting shut out 3-0 and falling in the finale by the final of 10-2. So I want to break down the winning game in this case scenario, because you can talk about the X's and O's and the losses no matter what day of the week you go. But at the end of the day, what did they do well on opening night? Because we love a good opening night win. So let's see what they did down at the farm on Friday, April the 4th, a 5-4 win. Tri-Cities gets 1 in the first, 3 in the 6th, and 1 in the 7th. The run in the 7th is the game winning run at the end of the day. And Vancouver Canadians, for those that may not know, they have been perennial champions in this league alongside the Spokane Indians. So to have a team like this opening night, yes, it's a different roster each and every year to start things off, but you got to get the job done at the end of the day. And that winning run was in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ben Goebel, who spent all of last season and maybe a little bit at the end with Inland Empire and then getting the call up to Tri-City, he got an RBI single that scored Randy DeJesus. That was your game-winning run. Also, Caleb Ketchup, yes, spelled like ketchup, like Heinz ketchup. He picked up his first home run of the year. It was a 3-run home run to tie the game in the bottom of the 6th inning. So, of course, Caleb Ketchup's going to get some big notoriety here in this wrap-up. But for Tri-City, they had Gordon come out, gave up 3 runs in 4 innings. The win in this ballgame out of the bullpen went to Leonard Garcia. In this ballgame, he went 2 innings of 2 strikeouts and gets a win to kick off the season. So good work overall right there on opening night for the Tri-City Dust Devils. Something that you always want at the end of the day. Give the, how would I say it, the hometown faithful something to love on opening day. Another start in this series that went really, really well. Something that the Angels have seen before, Victor Medeiros. Victor Medeiros, who's seen some time at the big league club. He had 1 start. He did suffer the loss, but it was one of those tough luck losses in game 2. He went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. And something I've said on the show multiple times is, as a fan, as someone who loves diving into the stats, I'm not a huge wins and loss guy for a pitcher because it's very offensive dependent in that case scenario. Again, like Victor Medeiros, you could go 1 run in 4 2/3 innings or give up 1 run in 9 innings and still lose the ball game because the offense for your team got shut out. So for me, wins and losses don't matter. Keeping that ERA down at 1.93 for the ball game was very good, and a 1.5 whip, keeping runners off the base path if it's a walk or a hit. So good work for Caleb Ketchup in that series, as well as Victor Medeiros, who we're talking about pitching-wise. Caleb Ketchup got that 3-run home run on opening night. Ben Goebel gets the game-winning hit. So good things overall for the Tri-City Dust Devils, who will right now currently looking at the standings at the high A level as it loads up here. Right now, a 1-2 record for the Tri-City Dust Devils, and it's all good. Again, 3 games in this season, so a lot of baseball to be played. And not to forget, in this League of the Northwest League, you have the Everett Aqua Sox of Seattle, Hillsboro Hops, Arizona, Vancouver Canadians, Toronto Blue Jays, Tri-City Dust Devils, the Angels, Eugene Emeralds for the San Francisco Giants, and the Spokane Indians of the Colorado Rockies. So, through 3 games, Tri-City is right now 1 game back, tied in a 3-way tie for 4th, as Everett, Hillsboro, and Vancouver, all with 2-1 records, sitting atop early on in the season through 3 games of the Northwest League. This week for Tri-Cities, they are going to hit the road to Oregon, and they will start up a 6-game series against the Eugene Emeralds of the San Francisco Giants affiliate in this week's setup. So overall, good numbers. For Double A, High A, and Low A Inland Empire, which we're going to get to here in a moment, a 3-game sample size is very tough. Now that we have 9 total games for AAA Salt Lake, we can start seeing some rhythms, some patterns, who's getting more playing time than others. 3 games, very small sample size, trying to get everybody into the rhythm and kind of figure out your starting batting order and starting pitching rotation. So in next week's show, I think we're really going to see the painting of the picture. And I think more so by the end of April and going into mid-May is when you'll really see what these teams have against their divisional rivals throughout each and every level of the Angels minor league farm system. Back down now. Let's bring it on back to California. The Inland Empire 66ers out of San Bernardino. They are in the California League. They were the only team this past weekend, with the exception of Salt Lake, to play on the road. They had a 3-game series up in Central California against the Visalia Rawhide, which is the Arizona Diamondbacks affiliate. And unfortunately, not a good weekend for Inland Empire. They get swept out of town, losing 4-0, 8-6, and then getting crushed Sunday afternoon, 18-5 against those Visalia Rawhide. And it doesn't matter, truly, what level of minor league ball you're at. Offense is still key at the end of the day. Double A, Rocket City, and that league has a little bit more pitcher-friendly ballparks, as well as Tri-City Dust Devils in the Northwest League. But AAA and Single A Inland Empire, the Cal League and the Pacific Coast League, are just 2 high-flying offensive leagues. So again, you're going to see crooked numbers a lot of the time in the California League. With that series in mind, you have to look at Inland Empire in this case scenario, and they had good productive outings from catcher Kevin Bregman, who went 2 games, had 4 RBIs and a 400 batting average, so driving with runners in scoring position. That's always a big option. And then a familiar face, if you know Inland Empire, Caleb Bartolero. He was a utility infielder last year with Inland Empire. He went 3 games, batted .250 with a home run and 3 RBIs. So good offensive performances overall for the Inland Empire 66ers. On the pitching side of things, it's kind of hard when you see 18 runs yielded in the finale, a crooked number. The starters gave up the majority of the runs, so I'm going to give some love to the Inland Empire 66er bullpen, not singling anybody out. I'm going to just say as a whole, they did well to keep Visalia on their toes after kind of coming into the ballgame with inherited runners and watching the starters give up 6 to 7 runs in those 2 lopsided performances. I would say that be able early on in the season against right now a divisional foe in the Visalia Rawhide to find what your bullpen is made of, just kind of like what the Angels are going through right now, as the Angels have started 6-3 to begin this season. Their bullpen has looked very strong with the exception of that day game in St. Louis, the getaway day to wrap up the road trip. I would say to get your bullpen on the right track first, you already know your starters go every 5th day. They find their rhythm as the season goes on. It's the bullpen. You don't know who you're going to call upon on any given day or any type of situation. And to get up as many zeros as possible early on, especially in just these first 3 games of the season, I'll give some love to the Inland Empire 66ers bullpen. For Inland Empire this week, they will come back home to San Manuel Stadium in San Bernardino to kick up a 6-game series against the Fresno Grizzlies, the Colorado Rockies affiliate. So you come back home, get a little home cooking. I know there's going to be a lot of promotions, fireworks, fan favorite stuff going on in Inland Empire this weekend. So if you're in Southern California and the Angels are out of town and you want to watch some baseball, go on out to San Manuel Stadium in San Bernardino and enjoy some minor league baseball for the Angels, because as a program, not a programming note, but a season note, this is going to be the last season that the Inland Empire 66ers are an Angels affiliate. And if I will remind you, I know I've mentioned it before on previous episodes of the Angels Minor League Report, this year will be the last year as the California League will be changing. Up north, the Modesto Nuts, the Mariners affiliate, they will cease to exist after the 2025 season. So beginning in 2026, The Modesto Nets will no longer exist. The Mariners will be the new affiliate of the Inland Empire 66ers. The Angels will go back to being partnered with the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, where they were for the early 2000s up to 2011. And then the Dodgers, who are currently the Quakes affiliate, they will be going to the brand new ballpark in Ontario, California. We don't have a team name yet, but that ballpark and that team will open up in 2026. So it's a little bit of musical chairs in that case scenario, but this is the last year that the Angels will have their affiliate with the Inland Empire 66ers, which is sad. It's been over a decade. It's a beautiful ballpark at Inland Empire. They always put on a great show with their mascot Bernie and their whole front office staff, but it's going to be the last season, so go out with a bang and let's see what the Angels farm system can do for the city of San Bernardino. But as we wrap up right there, the 4 teams, what they went through this past week, and finally speaking here, just thinking about it here, Inland Empire 0-3, they're at the bottom of their standings at this point. Again, looking for that first win of 2025 and looking at the California League standings right now, the Quakes swept Lake Elsinore, which is the Dodgers affiliate, sweeping the Padres affiliate, and then Visalia sweeping Inland Empire. So Quakes and Rawhide are 3-0, while the Sixers and Storm are 0-3. So those are your numbers. Those are your standings. That's what's to come this upcoming week for each level of the Angels minor league system. But right now, I got to take a break, because when we come back from this little sponsorship video break, or if you're listening along, you're going to hear these wonderful sponsorship videos. We want to talk about what is the programming note that I was teasing you about just about 5 to 10 minutes ago. It has something to do with this show and what our plan is for the first episode of each brand new month. So I'm going to preview that here in a moment, but let's step aside just for a second and give some wonderful thanks and tip of the cap to our sponsors, 714 Tickets, Bruheim, Underdog Sportsbook, and OC Dugout.
Brought to you by 714 Tickets in Anaheim, your trusted source for Angels tickets at unbeatable prices with no hidden fees. Whether it's home or away, they've got your seat covered. Visit them at 2424 East Catella Avenue, Anaheim, or online at 714tickets.com. Mention HITI and get 10% off your purchase. And Bruheim, Anaheim's premier craft brewery, pouring fresh, locally brewed beers in a welcoming atmosphere for Angels fans and beer lovers alike. Stop by their tap room at 1931 East Wright Circle, Anaheim, or check them out at Bruheim.com. Mention HITI and get 10% off your tab. The OC Dugout, your one-stop shop for officially licensed Angels memorabilia, custom jersey framing, and exclusive autograph signings with your favorite players. Visit them at 1928 East Center Street, Anaheim, or online at theocdugout.com. Support the businesses that support Halos in the infield.
Hey Todd, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at the Underdog app sponsored by Halos in the Infield. Actually, you can punch in HITI and get the promo code 20% earnings on your first bet via Underdog, the app. And also, they match 50% up to $1,000 winnings if you place bets. You could put them on players, you could put it on teams. It's a nightly thing. It's so easy to play, but also gamble responsibly. All because of Halos in the Infield and Underdog, the app.
Man, oh man, gotta love our sponsors, 714 Tickets, Bruheim, Underdog Sportsbook, and the OC Dugout here on the Halos in the Infield Network. This is the Angels Minor League Report with yours truly, Dominick Lorenz from Catella Chronicles. It's a little bit of a different setting here tonight. If you're watching this podcast episode, I'm currently on the East Coast broadcasting high school baseball this week at a big national tournament. So it's a little bit of a different setup, but no matter what, want to come on here to you, the fans that love our Halos, love the minor league report, because AAA, AA, High A, and Single A are now all officially in action in the 2025 season, and the pursuit for a championship is 100% on. So this is going to be a great time for baseball. The Angels are doing great to start off the season. So hopefully the minor league teams, all of them, can follow in suit with the big parent club. But before we leave on the show tonight, I wanted to take a little time for a programming note for you guys. Now that all 4 teams, Salt Lake Bees, Rocket City Trash Pandas, Tri-City Dust Devils, and the Inland Empire 66ers are fully in action, I came up with a plan at the end of last week's episode after recording, and I really want to do this, and I really hope the fans, you guys watching and listening, respond to it. And that's why I always say, like, comment, subscribe, interact with us. I want to see your comments so I can put them on the show, and I want to have that discussion of what you like or what you don't like, if you don't follow the Angels minor league system, because we want to bring awareness to the up-and-coming talent that is in this Angels minor league farm system, regardless if they're rated dead last in Major League Baseball. But at the first show every month, so looking at the calendar, this would be starting in the month of May the 6th, okay? May the 6th, the first Tuesday of every month. I'm going to go through the typical rundown of each team, but we're going to take a half chunk of the show, at least 15 to 20 minutes, and we want to do a player of the month for each team in the Angels minor league system. So who is the player of the month for Salt Lake, Double A Rocket City, Tri-City, Inland Empire? We're going to do a player of the month featured episode the first week of the month, and then out of those 4, for each team, we'll pick another one supreme that kind of is an outlier of the bunch, because maybe sometimes there's at least 2 or 3 players for Salt Lake. We're going to pick one for each and every team from top to bottom, and then we get one bonus pick. So there's going to be a total of 5 players of the month for the Angels minor league report of the month. I don't know. We haven't come up with the title quite yet for what we're going to name the award or trophy or something along those lines. Maybe that'll be myself and producer to the stars, Randy. He'll get a say in it because he'll create the graphic and make it up so beautifully. It's A+ chef's kiss work. But we're going to have a player of the month from every single team, AAA, AA, High A, and Single A, and then one additional player out of all 4 combined. So there'll be a total of 5 Angels minor league players of the month, and that will be the first show of every month. So the first Tuesday in May, we'll look at the whole month of April to start the show, and we're going to tell you who the 5 are. And then, of course, we'll dive into the weekly information about each minor league team. But that's the programming note. Tell me if that's a great idea to you guys, if there's any way we can maybe make that work, if there's maybe like, hey, do 2 for each team, or only do 1 total player of the organizational report. I want you guys to let us know what you think maybe a good format is. But for right now, we're going to start with 1 player per team, and then we'll add a bonus player out of all 4 teams combined. So there'll be a total of 5 Angels minor league players of the month. And during those episodes, the goal is to get a special guest. Now, I will do my best to try to get a minor league player onto this show. It may be tough because they could be traveling, busing, and different things. But if not, we're going to call our friends Todd, Fernando, Randy, Rob, Halo Joe, James, the whole crew. We're going to find one person maybe every month to kind of drop on in, get infiltrated with this Angels minor league report, and kind of reveal who those players of the month are. So we want you to stick around for that, but we also want you to be a part of the conversation. So if there is a player that you have your eye on, if you're a fan of Inland Empire or keep a track of Rocket City or Casually or Tri-City or Salt Lake, all these games can be watched on MILB.com or the Bally Live Sports app. You can watch every single minor league game, so you can keep track as well, and you can tell us what you may think, because you may agree with me or you may disagree with me, and that's what makes a beautiful Angels conversation. So I want you to do that, like, comment, and subscribe in leading up to every episode and the Angels minor league report players of the month, one for each team, and we'll add a fifth bonus player the first show of every month in talking about the previous month. So Tuesday, May 6th, when the episode drops, circle it on the calendar because the first half of that show will be dedicated to the Angels minor league players of the month for Salt Lake, Rocket City, Tri-City, and Inland Empire. So there's the big surprising news for you. There's the programming note. Schedule properly and accordingly because these episodes are going to be extremely fun and informative if you love stats and you love a good minor league report. But for right now, that's all I got for you here on a beautiful Tuesday. You're listening to this beautiful podcast. It could be the morning, the afternoon, or at night. If you're watching along, thank you for watching the Angels Minor League Report with yours truly, Dominick Lorenz. If you are listening along, cheers to you as well. Thank you for your listening and rooting support of not only myself in this program, but the entire Halos in the Infield Network for the fans, by the fans. That is our theme because we are Angel fans and we love talking shop. We love talking stats. We love trash talking too, but it's all in good, constructive fun because we love our Angels and we love our Angels minor league affiliates as well. So until next week, keep watching Angels baseball. Keep keeping a track of the Angels minor leaguers at AAA, AA, High A, and Single A. And until next Tuesday, I'm Dominick Lorenz of Catella Chronicles. This is the Angels Minor League Report, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Go Bees, go Trash Pandas, go Dust Devils, go 66ers, and of course, go Angels. I got the throwback hat on today because right now the Angels are playing with a very not lackadaisical, I'm going to rephrase that word. I'm going to say a very chill vibe right now. It comes across as lackadaisical, but right now they are winning with ease, and they're showing a lot of power to the mix as well. Logan O'Hoppe, Jorge Soler, Mike Trout hitting some bombs as well. Kyron Paris, a former top 30 prospect who has graduated. Man, that kid is going places as well if it's in the infield or the outfield for the Angels. But a lot to look forward to right now. And the Angels, programming note on the Angels, a huge road trip coming up. Tampa, Houston, and the Texas Rangers before coming back to take on the San Francisco Giants. So a big 2-week span. The AL West divisional games are coming up. So the Angels looking for more wins, just like their affiliates, Salt Lake, Rocket City, Tri-City, and Inland Empire. But until then, cheers to you, the fans. Thank you for tuning on in. Thank you as well to 714 Tickets, Underdog Sportsbook, Brewheim, and OC Dugout for being amazing sponsors of the program. Cheers to the whole crew of Halos in the Infield. And until next week, I'm Dominick Lorenz of Catella Chronicles. Cheers to the rest of your week. Enjoy watching baseball. Let's go, Angels.